right, welcome everybody. This is the J&T GSLC number 3 podcast. Can't believe it's been the third one already, but we're here today. Dr. Tim Logeman again, myself, Joshua Stumpner, and a special guest, Marty. Marty, can you introduce yourself to the viewers?
Sure. I'm Marty Krahn. I've been a member here for 20-some years, and I enjoy doing lawn work, so that's what my forte is, I guess.
So building grounds.
Yes.
You help keep the grass mowed,
Right.
trimmed up.
I'm one of 4 that we have in the group right now, and Brian Denfield, Josh's wife, Jill.
Yep,
Stumpner.
I volunteered Jill, so
Yeah.
she's just beginning in the rotation, but Marty's showed her a couple of tricks of the.
You are
of
a
the,
good man.
Wow. She's got a lot of experience, so I thought it worked out well. So
Sure. And then Jill Falkowski has graciously offered, and she's been a big help at cleanup time also, as well as Josh and your wife Jill. So yeah,
How long does it take you to mow?
I'll give you a political answer. It's actually depends on how tall the grass is, but in the spring it's usually about 4.5 hours. When it's now when it's slowed down and growing, it's probably 3 hours, 3.5 hours. So
Every week?
usually every week. Usually every week. In spring, it's actually probably every 5 or 6 days. So
Who does all the plantings around here?
that would be the 2 ladies that I know of, March
Shelley Ellenbecker.
and March Vergoots. So they have volunteered, and they keep things well manicured. So
Yeah, it's looking good out there. You do yard cleanup in the spring too. I mean, I've helped
Yep.
with that.
Yep.
Usually there's a lot of volunteers, but always looking for more.
sure.
We had some tree damage earlier this year.
Right.
Seems like that happens every year.
And with
Cleaning that up.
with the pine trees that we have in the yard, it's a given that we have cleanup broken branches, and this year was especially quite a bit,
Yeah.
So, but and then the leaf pickup. I believe it was 3 years ago we bought the church bought a machine called a Cyclone vacuum, and that has really been a blessing for
Sure. Speeds things up a little bit.
right, rather than running around
Less manual labor.
with the bagger.
Sure.
So
And you ushered quite a bit too?
yes, yeah. My seat is in the back,
You can keep an eye on everybody then?
Yeah. Well, I'm sort of the fill-in person if somebody hasn't shown up or whatever. Then I'm happy to do that.
Well-
And it's not my seat. I mean, I just happen to sit in the same seat every day. So.
What would you say some of the highlights of your 20 years here? What'd you say?
Well, the church was the new addition was fairly new at that time when I came. I served on the council within a year after I joined the church. I started on the council. I was council president for one year. Probably the highlight was we hired at that time our first full-time music director, Carmen, and that was a big thing.
Sure.
That was a decision that otherwise we had our organist, Nancy, I'm trying to think of her name. Yeah, her name was, well, anyways, she would, I think we had more than one organist, but we hired a music director that while I was council president. So that was probably a highlight.
And what would you say that, I don't know if you want to say what the church has meant to you over the years or a specific example of when it helped you through something or something like that, or?
I think just the fellowship that I feel at the church, in the church, and the adult forums that we've had, and the topics that we've had, and talking with people of my personal family situations and people praying for me. I think that's a wonderful. It's a feeling that you belong and that it works well.
What would you suggest for people to get the most out of being here?
I think to become involved in whatever you feel you're comfortable in, whether it's to do something outside on the ground, something inside, teaching, ushering, volunteering for certain things that need to be done.
So try to get involved, try
Right.
to experience that and,
Right.
and grow within the church,
Right.
fellowship,
Right.
it all kind of comes together.
It seems to me sometimes it's maybe, I don't know, backwards, or whatever, but the more you put in, the more you get out, has been my experience.
Yes.
And you've put in a lot, but I assume part of the reason is because you get a lot back.
Right. Right. It's sometimes I feel maybe a little selfish because it's for my own feeling of feeling good and to give something. We were always taught when I grew up. My parents always were very involved with the church, and were involved with doing things without being told or whatever, strong arm, so to speak. So
It is interesting how you doing good things actually, sometimes you do either feel selfish or like you did it for yourself, but you didn't, obviously. Where would we be without you? Be long grass, we wouldn't be able to see the street.
Oh, I'm sure just
Would the
as
city
many.
be down on our neck?
Yeah, oh yeah.
I'm sure just as there were people before me, there would be people after me to stand up, It's
You do a lot.
it's
We
but
really-
I do it because I like to do it.
We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Two things. Number one, how can people help? Can they call you, or they can go through the church office if they're like, man, I want to mow, or I want to rake, or I want to be an usher?
Absolutely. They would probably call Angie,
Just
and Angie would probably coordinate it with, they can call me directly, and usually when we have a cleanup,
Yeah, it's well posted usually in
it's
the
posted
bulletin
and
and
it's announced, and
in the newsletter and such.
that's great. Yeah. All help is greatly appreciated. It's
thank.
and I
thanks
got to
for-
say the other people that are involved, like Brian and Marge and Shelley and the two Jills. I mean, that it really helps out this year.
I'm sure it does. Takes the pressure off.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Well, from the congregation, I want to thank you for being on the podcast.
Yes,
Number,
thank you,
number
Marty.
3, we haven't had a cease and desist order yet, so we're very excited about that.
Get ready for one now. Huh?
And you've been a great guest, although you did bring up the level of forehead quite a bit even more. We already are a little heavy on
Yeah.
forehead. And
We're doing okay in that
If we
category.
do this again, maybe we can have a little makeup or
yeah, hats.
whatever,
Maybe we'll wear hats.
or hats.
Okay, maybe. Okay. Thank you, Marty.
Thanks, Marty.
Okay,
All
thank you,
thanks,
guys.
everybody. Okay, we're back. Thanks, Marty. Josh?
Yeah. So we're going to talk some financials here again. I always want to keep people up to date. So we're halfway through the year, Tim. And currently, our expenses are $156,000 this half year. And I guess if I'm incorrect, jump in and correct me. So our $156,000 expense is less than what we budgeted, which that's great.
We budgeted 183, so our expenses are 30,000 less than predicted, which is good management.
That's good. Our contributions, however, are about 118,000. Our budgeted contributions was 164,000. So we're quite a bit lower than our expected contributions. Year to date, so we're halfway through the year. All said and done, we're about $38,000 in the negative.
Our expenses are $38,000 more than our donation,
Correct.
which we've made up with reserves so far.
So far this year, yes.
Which means our reserves are
Our reserves are about 43,000 currently. If you take in the building, a little bit in the building fund, our work of the church, and our general fund.
Right.
That equals about 43,000. So moving forward, that kind of predicting things, that's about over a $70,000 deficit at the end of the year.
and our reserves would be gone at the end of December
Correct.
on the current trajectory.
Yes.
Right. So, we need prayers and thoughts about where to go.
Council's been talking, we've constantly been talking about this for a couple of years now, since COVID and before, really. And stewardship for all seasons, we're getting that kicked off again. We're having a meeting, I believe, next week to start with that. We've always had temple talks quite often throughout the last couple months, just to update people. So the message is out there, and the message really hasn't changed a whole lot.
Yeah. And the response, I don't think, has changed a lot from the beginning of the year to the now. I don't think we've seen maybe a little bit increase in donations, but
Yeah, January and February were in the negative quite a bit. March and April were in the positive just a slight bit. And May was about $4,000 under, and then June has been a little bit harder hit, close to $7,000 below.
oops. Sorry.
So,
And summer oftentimes is a little bit more difficult. But obviously, it's a difficult situation because obviously when people like Marty come in here, we see what this place means to people. But we're faced with a really serious challenge, and how do we meld those two things together? And I don't know that anybody knows that answer right now.
right. I guess we're open to conversations. Anybody wants to get a hold of us? Thoughts, ideas, anything. Anything else you had to add to the financial? Otherwise,
Let's finish up on a positive note.
okay. Well, I just wanted to bring up, we had the parking lot striped. We had by Ryan, and we did the basketball hoop was replaced by Mike. And we've done a little remodel in the narthex here. So I just want everybody to know that those were all donated time and talents, and all the costs were donated. So we're not taking anything away from our, church mission, I guess, as far as, the financial side of things. So I just want to make that clear to everybody, that there's a lot of people here that are giving extra, whether it be financially or with their time and talents. So
That's great.
always welcoming that as well.
Yeah, that's great. Right. I know Uke is still going on. Kartika's off camera here, but they timed it perfectly between the storms last night.
That's right.
And there's like a huge
Just in between.
there's like a huge crowd down there last night.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yep.
It's
I
very
gotta get down
People
exciting.
still came.
It's really fun. Yeah, it's really fun. So even just you walk by for 5 or 10 minutes
Sure.
and grab an ice cream, or
Yeah.
just walking by and listen. But I think it was 10, 15.
Probably. I can't remember because people kind of came and go, pass buyers. There was a guy who stopped by and ended up playing with us.
Yeah, I saw it.
So
The guy I didn't recognize.
yeah.
Who knows?
Sounds
Maybe
fun.
Yeah, it is. I highly recommend it.
Yeah. So come over.
VBS.
Less than a month away, 15th of August.
Okay.
We still need helpers. We still need kids to register. So if you're interested, or if you have kids, know people in the neighborhood.
Okay. Well, with all our viewers that we seem to get, maybe we'll
Yeah.
have some added interest.
Yeah, maybe. What kind of stuff do you do? Maybe if I'm off, I should stop by.
We do, yeah, and even to just like stop by during the day, say hi to the kids. We have different classes, I guess. We'll do a traveling, what do you call that, workshops?
Sure.
Do the opening in the sanctuary, and then we'll go from classroom to classroom and do like small group stuff, making art. I have music planned for that, snacks. MJ is providing snacks. Yep. You'll learn a lot. You'll eat.
Sounds good.
It'll be a good
You'll
time.
sing.
Cool.
Okay.
So thanks for watching. Like we said, this is number 3 so far. Again, we haven't received any cease and desist orders.
Nope.
No major complaints. We don't get a lot of positive
no
feedback.
no
or
major
likes either, but
No feedback.
so we're just gonna, which I guess is very Lutheran, just no feedback in general.
Yeah.
But we're probably gonna, unfortunately, keep going. I guess
Yeah.
because we're cracking ourselves up anyway. Yeah.
It's
So if
been a
you-
good time.
Yeah,
so.
if you'd like to be on the show, reach out to Kartika or me or Josh. If you have an issue that you'd like us to highlight or an event that you would like discussed, let us know. We're about once a month, so we'll probably see you again sometime in August. And again, if you'd like to be on or something that you'd like us to mention or an important issue, please let us know. Thanks again for watching. See you in church.